Asari are a common fan favorite Mass Effect alien, for reasons. But what if I told you that Asari don't actually look like this? You see, in a short conversation we can listen in on in Mass Effect 2 on Ilium, between a Salarian, Turian, and human, we find out that each species actually sees Asari in their own image. This means that these human-like Asari that we see throughout Mass Effect only look like that because they are mimicking what our brains want to see. As we already know through encounters with Liara in the first game and the Ardok Yashi Morinth in the second, Asari have a strong capability to control the minds of others, making us see and hear things that aren't really there. So this begs the question then, what do Asari actually look like? And could this also be why all Asari are seen as female? As females are commonly regarded as the fairer sex for most alien species in Mass Effect. These implications become scary when we realize that many of our original assumptions about the Asari race could actually just be clever manipulations by them to control us. We know that Asari children are always born Asari, regardless of what species they have mated with. So maybe the Asari are actually a parasitic race that is trying to feed on the galaxy by tricking other species into mating with them, ultimately to grow their influence. However, we do see some Asari statues at their temple in Thessia in Mass Effect 3, and these statues do in fact look like the human-like Asari we're used to, but this could just once again be more manipulation and tech even on the statues on their home planet. If these theories are true though, that would have some very damning consequences for characters we love like Liara, who may in fact be parasitic, blood-sucking monsters out to take over the whole galaxy. Or I'm just crazy. Elitania is a planet we travel to in Mass Effect 1 after getting the mission UNC Lost Module, where Admiral Hackett informs us that an Alliance probe has gone missing on the planet's surface, and we need to retrieve its data core. It seems like a pretty routine mission, and for the most part it is. You land on the planet, fight some bad guys, and get your data core. What some players may have missed though is that Elitania is actually hiding a lot more than meets the eye. You see, when you first land on the planet, you're able to see an anomaly marked on your minimap, which, if tracked down, turns out to be a mysterious Prothean ruin. A large sphere suspended in air surrounded by a structure of some sort. And after approaching the object and decrypting it, we are met with this text. Raising a hairy fist, you shake your spear at it in anger, and the creature rises up quickly until it disappears from view. With a satisfied grunt, you make your way back to your caves and the rest of your tribe. You fall into the familiar pattern of life. The hunt for food, the struggle to claim and keep a mate, the battles against other tribes that would claim your territory. Days roll into nights and back into days. Each time you rise from sleep, there is a sensation that you are not alone, that some other is with you, sharing all you see, hear, and feel. At these times, your hand goes to the strange lump on the back of your skull, and you remember the silver creature in the sky. The air grows colder, winter falls. You must range farther for food, clutching the furs tight against you to ward off the chill. It is on one of these long hunts that the strange bird returns. You hear it before you see it. Its call a deafening roar as it descends from above, swooping down onto you. A single great eye opens on the underbelly, a glowing red orb. You try to run, but a finger of red light extends from the eye and engulfs you, and all goes black again. You wake an instant later to find yourself on Elitania, lying on your back, the Prothean artifact looming above you undamaged and your companions standing over you. They help you to your feet, puzzled. There was a flash of light and you just sort of toppled over, one explains. Are you okay, Shepard? The other asks. You don't answer right away, wondering at the implications of what you have seen. The memories of a Cro-Magnon hunter, captured by an implanted Prothean data recorder. How long did they study the primitive humans, observing them and analyzing the results at their base on Mars? And what, if anything, did they leave for us? The vision Shepard has shows that the Protheans were in fact watching us even as primates, and they were not destroyed in their cycle because we had not become sufficiently intelligent enough as a species. In fact, that red light seen in the vision may actually have been our first encounter with a Reaper ever, and foreshadows our doom later in the series before we even know what is going on. An awesome revelation that many fans of the series probably completely missed. It's well known by now that many fans didn't like the ending of the original Mass Effect trilogy. All of the decisions we made and relationships we formed didn't matter in the end. Instead, it all came down to 3 choices: red, blue, green. For people like me, the green ending was the best. I already did a video about that. But more importantly, maybe this ending was actually what made the most sense for the series as a whole. You see, at the end of Mass Effect 3, the Crucible has finished construction, and Shepard is able to use it to destroy all synthetic life, organic life, or combine us into a new being entirely. Right before the choice, though, we are met with a catalyst, a mirage of a boy Shepard has been seeing throughout the game in his nightmares, that tells us it is an artificial intelligence that controls the Reapers. The catalyst is the mastermind behind the cycles of destruction, and was created by the Leviathans to protect them before it turned against them, as it saw this betrayal as the only way to actually preserve all organic life. The catalyst argues that all organic life eventually makes synthetics, artificial intelligence, in order to improve their lives. But it is through this very process of improvement that these synthetics must eventually become more capable than their creators, which inevitably leads to destruction and chaos, as we have already seen turned proof multiple times in this series. This gets even more intriguing though when we ask the Catalyst about the Crucible. The Mastermind is very knowledgeable about what it is, what it does, and how it works. But when we ask further, we simply are told it's too complicated to delve into for now. For a Mastermind and evil AI, this seems fishy to not give full context, where before we were given absolute certainty on all our answers. And maybe this is for a reason. Because maybe the Crucible wasn't something the organics over multiple cycles created to finally stop the Reapers. In fact, maybe it was actually just another trick from the Catalyst. You see, the Catalyst Prime Directive, the reason it was created in the first place was to protect organic life at all costs. And as far as we know, this is still the intelligence's main goal today. So what if the plans for the Crucible were actually left by the Catalyst? What if the Catalyst realized that the only way to save organics from their own destruction was to eventually have them join together with synthetics as one? The Crucible isn't our salvation. It's a test. A test to see if organisms over millions of years of cycles of destruction at the hands of the Reapers can finally ascend into something bigger than themselves. It would perfectly explain these cycles from the Reapers. It was all actually a sort of trial to force organics down the path to synthesis, the green ending. Shepard is nothing more than the final conclusion of these cycles, the hero of his time that hopefully, from the Catalyst perspective, is finally ready to make the correct decision, the synthesis ending to join all organic and synthetic life. And it is in this final moment that the Catalyst gives full control back to its creators to make that decision. After all, only if Shepard actually chooses the synthesis ending does it indicate through all the Catalyst's work that organics are finally ready to ascend and remove themselves from the shackles of doom that bind them. It explains the weird dreamlike sequences in the ending, and also explains why no Reapers are directed to stop Shepard at the Catalyst, as there are many flying by at the time. The Catalyst allows this to happen because this was the plan all along. It's planned to do what it was originally created to do: save all organic life at any cost.